Welcome, dear friends, to another heartfelt story on our channel. Here, we bring you stories that speak to the soul, that awaken emotions buried deep within us, and that remind us of the power of love, sacrifice, and family bonds. Today's story is titled, A Grandfather's Watch. Every tick a memory. This is not just a story about an old watch. It is about legacy, love passed down through generations, and the silent ways in which those we love continue to guide us long after they're gone. Stay with us, because this journey will touch your heart and remind you of the treasures we often overlook in our lives. It was an early winter morning when Michael found himself sitting in his late grandfather's study. The room smelled of aged wood, faint tobacco, and memories too strong to fade. On the old mahogany desk lay a pocket watch, tarnished, with scratches on its surface, but still ticking softly, as though it carried the heartbeat of a man long gone. Michael's grandfather, Edward, had been a man of quiet strength, a farmer by trade, a storyteller by nature, and a father figure who held the family together through storms of hardship. That pocket watch had rarely left Edward's side. He carried it in his vest pocket, winding it carefully every morning, listening to its steady rhythm as though it were the pulse of life itself. For Edward, time was not just seconds passing by. It was an altar where memories, sacrifices, and love were stored. As a child, Michael often sat on his grandfather's lap, fascinated by the watch. He would ask, "Grandpa, why do you always carry this old thing?" Edward would smile, his weathered hands stroking the watch gently, and say, "Because every tick reminds me of the moments I've lived, the people I love, and the promises I must keep." Life had not been kind to Edward. He had lived through wars, lost friends, and struggled through poverty. Yet, despite the hardships, he never let bitterness consume him. Instead, he poured his love into his family. Every meal on the table, every roof repair, every long day in the fields, all were acts of silent sacrifice. And through it all, the watch ticked faithfully, marking every moment of endurance and devotion. Michael never forgot the sound of that ticking. To him, it became the sound of safety, of being loved, of being home. But time, as it always does, moved forward. Michael grew up, went to college, built a life in the city. Edward grew older, weaker, until one day, the hands that had held the watch so dearly could no longer wind it. When Edward passed away, the family gathered to mourn. Among his few possessions left behind was the pocket watch, still ticking, as though refusing to let his presence be forgotten. Years passed before Michael finally opened the drawer where he had kept the watch. He had avoided it, afraid of the memories it carried, afraid of the grief it might awaken. But one day, as he faced challenges in his own life, a failing marriage, the pressure of work, the weight of responsibilities, he found himself reaching for the watch. As he held it in his palm, he could almost hear his grandfather's voice again. "Every tick is a memory, Michael. Don't waste them. Live them." In that moment, Michael broke down. Tears streamed down his face, not just of sorrow, but of recognition. He realized he had been chasing time, measuring his life in deadlines and achievements, while forgetting to measure it in love and presence. From then on, the pocket watch never left his side. Whenever Michael felt overwhelmed, he would hold it close, let the ticking steady his breath, and remind him of what truly mattered. He began to rebuild his marriage, spending time with his children, choosing dinners at home over late hours at the office. Slowly, life regained its meaning, not because problems disappeared, but because he chose to live through them with love, just as his grandfather had. One evening, as Michael tucked his son into bed, the boy noticed the watch and asked, "Dad, why do you carry that old watch?" Michael smiled, just as his grandfather once did, and said, "Because every tick is a memory. And one day, I hope this watch will remind you of me, the way it reminds me of him." Life lesson. The story of the grandfather's watch is not about time. It is about legacy. We all inherit something from those who came before us, not just in objects, but in values, in sacrifices, in the invisible threads of love that hold us together. Every tick of the watch is a reminder that life is made of moments, and what gives those moments meaning is not how long they last, but how deeply we live them. Life lesson. The story of the grandfather's watch is not so. Cherish the gifts passed down to you, whether it's a watch, a story, a recipe, or simply a piece of wisdom. They are not just relics of the past. They are the voices of those who loved us, urging us to live fully, love deeply, and carry forward the legacy of family. Thank you for joining us on this journey through memory and love. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who might need the reminder. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another story that might change the way you see life. Until next time, take care, treasure your loved ones, and remember, every tick is a memory worth holding on to.